So one of the biggest questions I get when people find out that I used to be a Viner is how did I make money? So if you didn't know, I used to be a Viner. That sounds really funny now, but a few years ago, it was a pretty big deal. So I should start by sharing a little bit about my Vine story. So Vine came out in early 2013 and didn't pick up much popularity until about the summer. So I thought I would post something on Vine. I had no real intention of becoming a Viner or going viral or getting a lot of views and followers. That wasn't really my thought at first. But at the time, I was a young, awkward teenager in high school, and I didn't really want to make videos myself. So I kind of just made memes. My Vine account for the early days was literally just a meme page. Now, I liked to video edit, so I essentially made memes out of videos I found on the internet and funny songs, and I would put them together and I'd hopefully make something funny that people liked. And that went on for about 6 months, just posting memes. And just posting this alone, my Vine account reached over 50,000 followers. At that point, I had to decide if I wanted to keep posting memes and just being a funny meme page, or transition to actually making my own content and becoming a Viner. So at the time, you couldn't actually post videos from your camera roll. But what I did is I found a way to swap out the video file on my phone with a pre-recorded video and trick the app into uploading that. This allowed me to stand out from other videos, and it allowed me to use tools like After Effects that other people weren't using. There were a couple other creators that figured out how to do this, one of them being Zach King. Once enough people were doing this, they ended up just adding a button to upload videos, and that kind of changed everything. This is when I started doing VFX videos, After Effects, whatever I could really come up with. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of these are pretty cringy, and watching these now is not easy to watch. But regardless of how cringy they are, this is how I started my career, and I don't want to forget where I came from. The thing that really got my Vine page going was these knife throwing videos, and they are uncomfortable to watch, let me tell you. I think when you post something online and it does well, you kind of just forget about how ridiculous and silly they look. You just do it because you know they do well, and that's kind of how this all happened. I posted one knife throwing video, and then that led to doing another one, and another one, and another one, and another one, and the first one had 65,000 likes, and the last one I made had 130,000. At this point, my page grew to about 250,000 followers, which is pretty nuts for a 17-year-old still in high school. So this is when I started doing some of my first brand deals. The first one I ever did was for an iPhone app, which I don't even remember the name of the game. It was some like cheesy ripoff, like copy-paste iPhone app, but I guess they had a budget for Vine influencers. This video actually isn't even on my page anymore. I think it was like a temporary post, so you'd post it for like a week, and then in a week you were able to delete it because it wasn't in the cycle of views anymore. And I think they paid me like $200 to make that video, and I thought that was like the coolest thing, that I was making like 200 bucks off a video. And that's when I started to take this a little bit more seriously. So at this point, I knew I needed to step it up. I stopped posting meme videos, and I only did VFX videos that I created. I was posting anywhere from 1 to 3 videos a week. It was a little bit tougher for my content because it wasn't just a quick punchline like a lot of other Viners. My Vines were ideas that I had to think out, figure out how to shoot, and then I would edit. I had a Vine once that took 7 days to edit. Like, it took me an entire week from shooting to posting. So I couldn't create a lot of videos very quickly. So in the process of posting new content and stopping posting memes and that sort of edits, I actually did lose a lot of followers because people were like, "Why? Who is this guy? I don't remember following this guy." So sometimes in the content creation world, you have to focus on the long run and not what's going to do best now. That being said, I did a lot of brand deals. So I would always have other Viners asking me like, why are you doing brand deals? How come I'm not doing brand deals? And it came down to 3 different factors. Number 1 being how brand friendly you are. I was doing VFX videos in a market where people were making like racist jokes. Like, if you wanted to put your brand on someone, you can't be making garbage content. Now, I'm not saying my content was the best content on Vine, but it sure was one of the few that were very brand friendly. Number 2 comes down to location. So because I'm Canadian, any brand that wanted to advertise using Vine, they wanted to use Canadian influencers. Now, there wasn't many Canadian Viners to choose from. There was maybe a dozen. So out of the dozen Viners, there was probably only 3 or 4 of us that actually had a brand-friendly platform. So between the small group of us, we essentially got all the brand deals because there wasn't really anyone else to go to. And Vine was like this new hot market for companies to sell their product. And the third factor here is a good marketing agency. There's a saying that goes, bad actors exist because good agents exist. And this essentially was the exact same thing on Vine. All the brand deals that I did were because I had a good agent that got me brand deals. Now, to give credit where credit's due, the agency I was with is Viral Nation. They are still an agency. They're still doing their thing. Now, the big thing here is that they were a Canadian agency, so they were working with all the different Canadian brands, and it worked out really well for me as well as the other Canadian Viners. So another big question I get asked a lot is, how much money did I really make on Vine? Like, how much is a 6-second video really worth? So I had a little over 700,000 followers. I'd say at the beginning of my career, I was getting a couple $100s for a post. Eventually, I did some videos for like $1,500 a post, which is pretty insane. And near the end of my Vine career, I got paid up to $7,500 for one post. Yep. Why do you think I dropped out of college? Now, I'm not saying this to be like, oh, look at me, I made lots of money. I'm not trying to brag about how much money I made. Hopefully I can give some insight on how influencer marketing works and what it was like to be a Viner 5 years ago. So in 2014, I was actually in college for computer programming, and I remember doing a brand deal and thinking, why am I here? Why am I in college right now? I literally just paid my semester of tuition with one video, and that's when I decided that it was time to leave. But as you can imagine, as a young adult teenager, I blew my money on fast food, video games, computers, electronics, whatever the heck I wanted. But near the end of Vine, I did smarten up a little bit and saved up all my money and invested it into production gear, including this camera right here, which is a beast of a camera, that's for sure. And I started doing a lot of freelance video production, kind of starting my own thing. So the last year of Vine, we kind of had a feeling things weren't going too well over at the Vine headquarters. Everyone's views were dropping and the app wasn't really making money. They weren't advertising, they weren't doing any sort of revenue inside the app. We kind of all knew that it wasn't going to last much longer. A lot of people jumped to Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Musical.ly, which is now TikTok. For me, I didn't feel like what I was creating would transition well to YouTube, so I didn't do that. I did a little bit of Instagram, but the thing was, it's really easy to burn out when you're creating 6-second videos or very short VFX videos. Like, imagine posting 6-second videos for 3 years straight. And to keep up with other content creators, some people were posting like a video a day. You can't do that when you're doing VFX. Even the best like social media VFX artists out there, like Zach King, he hired a whole team to make content. I've been to his studio. He has like a big warehouse and employees, and it's incredible what he's built. Like, that's super amazing, but not everyone can do what he did. So honestly, what kept me driven to create would have been probably the audience. I think just the excitement of posting a video and getting views, and it was this just exciting thing that we were doing. That's kind of what kept me going. Funny thing to comment here though is that Vine had the most toxic comment section. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, if you think YouTube comments are bad, Vine was the scum of the earth. It was terrible. So I used to always say that the Vine comment section would make or break a Viner because a lot of people couldn't handle it. Like, it was that bad. So the following years after Vine, I was still making videos on like Facebook and Instagram. Actually, my Facebook kind of took off a little bit, but unfortunately the way Facebook works is if you don't pay for your followers to see your posts, Facebook will not show your followers your posts. So they kind of cannibalize their own system, which is pretty stupid. But the cool thing was that my Vines, and actually they still do, create their own revenue on YouTube. So I'm sure you guys have seen Vine compilations on YouTube. Viners actually get paid for the content that is theirs in those videos. So it's not a lot of money. Actually, I have heard of some creators making like a living off this, but it is nice having like this little paycheck that comes every month, but it's nothing significant. One thing I wish I told myself when I started Vine was to start a YouTube account. Start posting behind the scenes tutorials, whatever the heck I could, post it on YouTube and start growing there. YouTube is just such a more sustainable platform. They have a revenue system for creators to build their own income, and it allows you to grow more of a meaningful audience. I feel like Vine, they didn't really care about me or any of the other Viners. They really just cared about the funny videos and keep scrolling. And now, as you know, for the past 2 years, I've been working as Maddie's editor over on his channel. So all the stuff I've learned through Vine and doing brand deals and video editing has really helped me build a skill set and knowledge into what I'm doing now. So to recap this video, I made 6-second videos that were brand friendly, and I had a good agency that helped me dominate the Canadian market. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. These are questions that I literally get all the time when people find out that I used to be a Viner and that I used to make money on Vine. Feel free to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to stick around. If you want to watch the next video, I'll probably make one. I'll make another video. Don't know what it's about, but I'll make one.